In the depths of the unknown, where shadows whisper and fear takes form, welcome to Classic Storytime Hub, the place where classic horror and mystery come alive. Tonight, I bring you a reimagined version of the Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe, retold with a suspenseful narrative style that grips the soul and breathes new life into this haunting tale. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a journey into the shadows. I had endured Fortunato's countless slights with as much patience as I could summon. But when he dared to wound me with insult, I swore an oath of revenge. You who know the depths of my soul will understand. I did not speak threats aloud. No, my resolve was silent, absolute, and all the more dangerous for it. I would have my vengeance, and I would have it without risk, without consequence. To punish is nothing, unless the punishment is felt, and the avenger walks away untouched. Fortunato suspected nothing. I gave him no reason to doubt my friendship. I smiled in his face as always, though now my smile was sharpened by the thought of his destruction. He had one weakness, this Fortunato, a pride in his mastery of wine. In most things, he was a fraud, like so many others, but in the matter of old vintages, he was genuine. And I, too, knew the vintages well. That was the bond I would use to bind him. It was at dusk, during the wild delirium of carnival, that I met him. He greeted me with drunken warmth, his costume a fool's motley, bells jingling from his cap. I clasped his hand with such eagerness that he could never guess the true reason for my delight. "My dear Fortunato," I said, "what fortune to meet you tonight! You look splendid! But I must trouble you. I have acquired a cask of what is said to be Amontillado, though I have my doubts." "Amontillado!" he cried, his eyes widening. "A whole cask? Impossible! And during carnival, no less."
"I have my doubts," I told him, "and like a fool, I paid the full price for Amontillado without first seeking your counsel. You were nowhere to be found, and I feared losing the bargain." "Amontillado!" he exclaimed. "I have my doubts. Amontillado! And I must be certain. Amontillado!" "As you are occupied, I thought to consult Luchesi. His judgment, after all—" "Luchesi!" Fortunato scoffed. "He cannot tell Amontillado from common sherry." "And yet," I said, "there are those who claim his taste rivals your own." His pride flared. "Come, let us go." "Go? Where?" "To your vaults." "My friend, no. I would not burden you. You have an engagement. Luchesi." "I have no engagement. Come." "It is not that," I insisted. "It is your health. You are ill, and the vaults are damp, heavy with nitre." He waved me off. "The cold is nothing. Amontillado, you have been deceived, and I will prove it. As for Luchesi, he could never tell sherry from Amontillado." With that, Fortunato seized my arm. I allowed him to lead me, his bells jingling with every step, as I drew my black silk mask across my face and wrapped my cloak tightly about me. We made our way to my palazzo. The house was silent, deserted. My servants, I knew, had vanished the moment I ordered them not to stir until morning. Such commands are the surest way to guarantee their absence.
I lifted 2 torches from their sconces, pressing one into Fortunato's hand before bowing him through the silent chambers of my house toward the archway that yawned into the vaults below. Together we descended the long, twisting staircase, my voice echoing as I urged him to tread carefully. At last we reached the bottom, standing upon the damp earth of the Montresor catacombs. Fortunato's steps were uneven, his drunken gait betrayed by the mocking jingle of the bells upon his cap. "The cask," he muttered. "It lies deeper still," I answered. "But look, see how the walls glisten with that pale webbing." His bleary eyes met mine, clouded with drink. "Nitre?" he asked hoarsely. "Nitre," I confirmed. "And that cough of yours, how long has it plagued you?" He erupted into a fit of hacking, a violent chorus that left him breathless for minutes. "It is nothing," he gasped at last. "Come, let us turn back," I urged with solemn concern. "Your health is too precious. You are wealthy, admired, beloved, a man who would be missed. I, on the other hand, am nothing. Let us return. I cannot bear the thought of your illness. Besides, there is always Lucchesi." "Enough," he snapped. "This cough will not kill me. I shall not die of a cough." "True," I murmured, my lips curling faintly. "True indeed. Still, a little caution will do no harm. Here, take this." I shattered the neck of a bottle of Medoc and offered it to him. "Drink," I said. He raised it with a drunken grin, the bells chiming as he nodded. "I drink," he declared, "to the dead who slumber around us." "And I replied softly, "to your long life." He clutched my arm once more, and we pressed on. "These vaults," he remarked, "they are vast. The Montresors were once a great and numerous family." "I forget your arms." "A golden foot, crushing a serpent whose fangs are buried in its heel." "And the motto?" "Nemo me impune lascisit." "Good," he said, with a laugh that rang hollow in the darkness.
The wine glittered in his eyes, and the bells upon his cap gave their mocking chime. The Medoc had warmed my own blood as well, and together we pressed deeper, past endless walls of skulls and bones, where casks and barrels lay intermingled with the dead. At last I stopped, gripping Fortunato firmly by the arm. "Look, the nitre," I said. "It thickens here, clinging to the vaults like ghostly moss. We are beneath the riverbed itself. The water drips among the bones. Come, let us turn back before it is too late." "Your cough—" "It is nothing," he rasped. "Onward. But first another draught." I broke the seal of a flagon of de Grave and placed it in his hand. He drained it in a single breath, his eyes flashing with a wild light. Then, with a laugh, he hurled the empty bottle upward, making a strange, grotesque gesture I could not comprehend. "You do not understand?" he asked. "Not in the least," I replied. "Then you are not of the Brotherhood." "How so?" "You are not a Mason." "Oh, but I am," I said. "You? Impossible! A Mason?" "A Mason," I repeated. "A sign, then. Show me a sign." "This," I answered, drawing a trowel from beneath my cloak. He recoiled, startled. "You jest," he cried. "But come, let us find the Amontillado." "As you wish," I said, slipping the tool back beneath my cloak and offering him my arm once more. He leaned heavily upon it, and we pressed forward. Through low arches we passed, descending deeper and deeper, until we reached a crypt so foul that our torches no longer flamed, but glowed dimly in the poisoned air.
At the farthest end of the crypt we came upon a smaller chamber. Its walls were lined with bones, stacked high to the vaulted ceiling, like the catacombs of Paris. 3 sides still bore their grisly decoration, but on the 4th the bones had been cast aside, heaped in a mound upon the damp earth. Behind that mound the wall revealed a narrow recess, 4 feet deep, scarcely 3 wide, and no more than 7 in height. It seemed to serve no purpose, a hollow space between the massive pillars that held the catacombs aloft, its back sealed by solid granite. Fortunato lifted his dim torch, straining to pierce the darkness within, but the feeble light revealed nothing. "Proceed," I urged. "Here lies the Amontillado. As for Lucchesi, he is a fool," Fortunato interrupted, staggering forward into the niche. I followed close behind. He reached the end, halted by the rock, and stood there, bewildered. In an instant the trap was sprung. From the granite wall protruded 2 iron staples, set 2 feet apart. From one hung a chain, from the other a padlock. Before he could comprehend, I had wrapped the chain around his waist and secured it fast. It was the work of seconds. He was too stunned, too drunk to resist. I stepped back, withdrawing the key. I said, "Feel the wall. The nitre clings thick upon it. The air is damp, unwholesome. Once more, I beg you, let us return. No? Then I must leave you. But first, allow me to render you every courtesy in my power." "The Amontillado!" he gasped, still dazed. "True," I replied, "the Amontillado." With that, I turned to the mound of bones. Casting them aside, I uncovered bricks and mortar, and with my trowel in hand, I began to build, stone upon stone, sealing the entrance of the niche. I had scarcely laid the first row of stones when I realized the wine's spell had begun to fade. From the depths of the niche came a low, mournful cry. Not the babble of a drunkard, but the sound of a man awakening to terror. Then silence. I set the 2nd tier, the 3rd, the 4th. Suddenly the chains rattled with furious violence, echoing through the vaults. I paused, savoring the sound, and seated myself upon the pile of bones to listen. The clamor lasted minutes, then dwindled into stillness. Smiling, I took up the trowel once more and raised the wall higher, 5th, 6th, 7th tier, until it stood nearly level with my breast. I lifted the torch, casting its weak glow upon the figure within. Then came a shriek, piercing, unearthly, that seemed to drive me back. For a moment I faltered. My hand trembled as I drew my rapier and thrust it blindly into the darkness. But the solid granite reassured me. The walls of the catacombs were my fortress. I returned to my work. To his screams I gave answer, mocking them, echoing them, surpassing them in strength, until at last his voice fell silent. Midnight approached. The wall rose higher, 8th, 9th, 10th tier. I set the 11th, leaving but a single stone to seal the niche forever. I wrestled with its weight, fitting it into place. Then, laughter. A low, hollow laugh that froze my blood. It was followed by a voice, weak and sorrowful, yet still recognizably Fortunato's. "Ha, ha, ha! A fine jest, indeed. An excellent joke. We shall laugh about it together at the palazzo, over our wine. Ha, ha, ha." "The Amontillado," I answered.
Yes, the Amontillado. But surely it grows late. They will be waiting for us at the palazzo, the Lady Fortunato, the others. Let us go. "Yes," I said softly, "let us go." "For the love of God, Montresor!" "Yes," I whispered, "for the love of God." But no answer came. I waited. Impatient, I called out, "Fortunato!" Silence. "Fortunato!" Still nothing. Only the faint jingle of bells answered me from the darkness. A sickness stirred in my heart, but it was only the dampness of the catacombs. I pressed on, eager to finish. The final stone was forced into place, the mortar sealed, and the wall stood complete. I rebuilt the rampart of bones before it, hiding all trace of the niche. For half a century, no mortal hand has disturbed them. In pace requiescat.
And thus the story ended. If you liked this journey into the worlds of classic literature, do not forget to support us by subscribing so we can tell you more. And hey, if there's a classic tale you'd love to hear told in this suspenseful style, drop its name in the comments below. Your suggestion might be our next chilling adventure.